Damn, this thing looks great. I think I prefer the single arm. It's still got so much pep to it. It's pretty sick. Taking out the S1000RR 2025 M Sport edition. I'm just comparing these between the RR and the single R. Oh, this feels like I'm back at home. It feels just like my 2018 did. Quick shifter is so smooth. Oh, it's so much smoother than my 2018 was. Because I own my 2018 S1000 for four and a half years, something like that. Alright, this feels pretty good. So this is the M Sport. It might have the carbon wheels. I'll have to check when we stop. Alright, again. So third gear, like barely any torque. It's probably because it's really long geared. Alright, it's quick. Let's put it into dynamic. Alright. In dynamic, it's got a little bit more pep to it. Hill hold control, that's pretty handy, so I don't have to hold the brake. I love these M levers. If I get an S1000, whether it's an R or RR, or even the M1000R, I'm definitely getting these levers. They look and feel a lot nicer than the stock, which are almost like just a black plastic sort of looking thing. So what I'm really looking at, I've had the RR, the old gen 2018 asymmetrical headlights. I've had that for many years, four and a half. It's now sold. I sold it a few months ago. Nothing wrong with it. I just wanted a change. So I'm now in the market for something different. I've pretty much only ridden super sports my entire riding career, and they're fine. They're beautiful for racetrack riding. You know, just having that leverage on the bars to be able to hang off mid-corner. It feels great, but I think about what style of riding do I do? I'm an all-day rider. If I go out riding on a Saturday, a sunny Saturday, I'm gone for 10 hours at least. You know, hitting up the Twisties, Great Ocean Road, which is an all-day thing to get there and back and do the Twisties there. It's all day. So being hunched over like this all day, I find it really hurts my shoulders and my neck. Oh, let's try this corner. Come in. Oh yeah. Brakes are good. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, the riding position for all day riding. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Like I see all these dudes on Instagram, you know, with the S1000RR making rollers. They look sick. It's such a cool looking bike aesthetically. But just putting around the city, this bike isn't made for that. It's made for doing 300k down Phillip Island. So the S1000 single R, I think, is best of both worlds. Because it has the power. Yes, on paper, not the same. Like this is 205, I think, maybe 210. Whereas a single R is 170. So you're like, oh, on paper, it's slower. But in reality, not really, because the S1000R, the gearing is shorter. It's just designed for road speeds. So you can actually bring it out. I swear the 0 to 100 times are like identical. It's just this has greater top end. So if you're doing highly illegal 200 plus K pulls all the time, okay, get this, but you're gonna lose your license. So if you're not familiar with the new BMWs these days, they come with so much tech. So this has got DTC, DDC, so dynamic, what is it called? There's dynamic traction control, but there's also, I forget the word, insert it here, but there's electronic suspension that adjusts on the fly depending on the road surface that you're on. I think the S1000R, you get an extra option. Oh, actually, I want to go up here. Yeah, thank God he didn't turn. This road is quite good. do have a break-in limiter, so I can't rev it out all the way. The S1000, they're just turbine smooth, you know? Like the power delivery is so linear, you know exactly what it's going to do. Auto blipper is so good. So now the auto blipper on the 2025, it'll downshift even with the throttle open. And will upshift without the throttle needing to be open. So we've made some improvements with the quick shifter. It's a lot smoother as well compared to the previous generations that I've ridden. Yeah, this feels good, man. Super nimble. Let's see if we get the sport display. Yes, we do. That's cool. But yeah, of course, heated grips. Fantastic on a day like today. Cruise control. This beautiful TFT dash where you can connect your phone, see your GPS, music, phone calls, things like that. You've also got lean, angle, what is it, ABS, and slide control. See that little gizmo down there, down here? So it'll detect how much the rear wheel is sliding out and I guess electronically intervene. Of course, you can turn all of these electronic gizmos off if you're Marc Marquez, but they're pretty good otherwise. Fucking hell. This bike is quick. It is very quick. Some may say too quick. There's no such thing as too quick, Tom. You need more power. No, I don't know, man. There comes a point on road riding where too quick becomes boring. Because the most fun part about riding a motorbike is just revving it out all the way to redline, right? So if the redline on this in first gear is 150, 160, you've just exceeded every speed limit in the country in first gear. So, you know, whereas the S1000R, you can just rev it out just a little bit more without doing stupid jail speeds, and you're more comfortable while you're doing it. Let's just stop here and do a quick look at the motorcycle. So one thing with the RR, it's not as good at these low speed U-turn stuff. Damn, it looks pretty good in the white. Far out. So this is the 2025 S1000RR M Sport. I'm taking this out on a test ride today to basically compare it to an S1000 single R, because I'm trying to decide what bike to upgrade to next. I know it's definitely going to be a BMW. Just not sure if I still want the super sport riding position or something a little bit more comfortable. I do love having a windscreen for the added wind protection on highways, and subjectively I think the super sports always do look a bit better with the fairings, but am I looking for something a little bit more comfortable now? I'm not sure. That's why I'm taking them both out today. But looking at the M Sport here, it's fully kitted out. So I love these blue M calipers on the M Sport edition. It looks amazing. Plus you've got these carbon wheels, less rotational mass, so much easier to flick the bike left to right. But I wouldn't want to know how much it costs to replace a carbon wheel if you hit a pothole in Melbourne, which is, to be fair, quite likely. I think you're looking at probably $5,000 or something per wheel. The swing arm on the new 2025 model, it has this sort of grey finish to it. Oh, I love these M bobbins, they look amazing. On the race and M Sport editions of the RR, you get the Akrapovic slip-on. Oh, you've also got these Gillies rear sets. They're very nice, very, very nice. 25 models that blacked out the clutch casing. Looks quite good, actually. Oh, the subframe on the 2025 models is now this sort of anodized looking finish, a grey finish. Of course, you have the TFT dash that's been on all new BMWs for quite a while now. You've got that little slide control sensor in there, detecting how much the rear wheel is sliding out. M levers, I think these are a must. They look and feel amazing. Of course, you've got the giant wings now that came from the 24 M1000RR. So they add quite a aggressive stance to this bike. And I sort of kind of like how they've done that asymmetric color scheme. Red on the left, blue on the right. Kind of reminds me of my 2018 that had the asymmetric headlights. So it's cool they've kept that sort of theme. The only thing I don't like that they've done is left this front fender like just a, what would you call it? Just like an unpainted plastic. It makes the bike look quite cheap. Everything else looks really good, but this sort of lets it down. So I would replace that. If this was my own bike, I'd replace that with a carbon one, or take it to a painter to have it color match to the rest of the bike. But you've also got these air ducts for cooling to the brakes. That's new for 2025. The only thing else I would do if it were my own bike is the belly pan. I would swap out to a longer one to hide that pre-muffler catalytic converter box, as well as I would replace these plastics with carbon. I always think these plastics look a bit cheap for what is otherwise quite an expensive bike. Taillight, I miss the 2018s and earlier had an actual taillight, the pointy one. They've deleted those on the new Gen 4 and Gen 5 S1000s. They got rid of that, and the brake lights are in your indicators. Oh, another thing I've noticed they've changed, this little piece of plastic here covers that headlight. Before it used to come up to like here. Makes it look a little bit droopy, I think. Cerium grey intake. I don't know if I love that. Looks okay on the white and the grey, but on the black model it stands out a lot. So I'd probably change that if it were my bike. Brakes are excellent. Brakes are fantastic. I feel pretty good. I feel a little strain in my shoulders. It's just like leaning forward so much. I have weight off wrists, of course. You have to do that on a Super Sport. You grab the tank with your legs and you grip so that there should be, you know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, no weight on your wrists at all. You're holding yourself up with your legs. That's how it should be. Oh, but if I was like this, you know, that's so much more comfortable. My back upright. Turning circle again kind of sucks on a double R, but brakes are phenomenal. I do find on the singular you do have a greater sense of speed, because without the windscreen, you know, you're getting a lot of wind blasts, so it makes you feel like you're going faster than you actually are. Whereas the double R, mate, you could be doing 200 and feel like you're just cruising. There's no burbles on the double R, at least not in dynamic. You might have to be in Race Pro to get any burbles. Let's see if we can Race Pro. There we go, now you got pops. That's much better. Whoa, what a pop! So stable in the corners. It's pretty sick. And the beauty with Australian motorcycles, we don't have that flat spot that America has in second gear. So So you don't have to get a tune to really sort this bike out. It's sort of fine as is. Granted, if you get a full exhaust, yeah, it needs a tune, but those burbles are so nice. I really need to be going faster to enjoy these corners. So the ShiftCam, it does have quite a lot of torque down low. But really, because of the gearing, I think you need to be first or second if you want to do any pulls from 60k an hour. Yes, you see my riding position, the old hand on the thigh. Standard super sport, trying to stretch your back out a little bit. Okay, these slower speeds, this is when I notice the riding position a lot more. I think because when you're going faster, you've got a bit of wind pushing against you that almost holds you up a little bit. Whereas this is where the riding position kind of sucks. I'm just trying to imagine how this would be all day. Yeah, it handles so well. So I'll show you hill hold. So we're in neutral. It's not going anywhere, and I'm on quite a steep hill. Kind of nice, to be honest. I find my legs are perfect position with whatever setting these ghillie rear sets are on. They don't feel too cramped. I've never really had a problem with the leg room on these super sports. It's more my shoulders that get sore. For reference, I'm 6 foot tall. So like 183, 184 centimeters, and most of that is in my legs for some reason, but yet I don't feel cramps. This feels totally normal to me. I'm not sure what else I have missed. This hasn't really been it's not really meant to be an in-depth review of this bike. It's just sort of a first impressions and test ride comparison between the RR and the single R, and which do you prefer, or which do I prefer for my next bike. I think my first 45-minute, 1 hour impression of this is more refined than the older RRs. Improvements to the quick shifter, blipper, throttle, lower down torque with the ShiftCam. Everything feels like top notch. Similar to the old RR, perhaps too fast for the road. I'll be right back. I'll see you soon on this single R.